Hi, this is Jose Quesada for Data Science Retreat, and today I wanted to cover something. This is very speculative, so this is not as tried and true as the previous videos. This is me thinking out loud, right, about the state of the market right now during this recession, right? So the idea is, should you get a job, should you do consulting, or should you start a product company? That sounds kind of scary if you're in machine learning, but let me explain. Okay, there was a time where it was very easy to get a job as a data scientist or a machine learning engineer if you had some kind of background in math, in science, and then it was somewhat easy to move from a job to be a consultant, a highly paid consultant. Many people have done that, and they're doing okay. What is hard, but most consultants try, is to do a product to stop selling your time. This is something that every consultant will love. They like what they're doing, but they feel that they don't own the products that they're building, that if they don't work, they don't get paid. There is feast and famine. There are all these things that products solve. A product usually sells while you're still asleep, which is lovely for consultants. It's a completely different experience. So I'm talking about a bootstrapped product that will do not so great the first year or two, and eventually you will cover what you can count as a salary, and maybe a salary for somebody else who you have hired, right? So this was hard back in the good times, let's say. What is extremely hard is to go from a bootstrapped product to something that is scalable with, say, 100 employees or more. This is a busy case. And there are only a few companies that have done that, and most of them are not machine learning companies. Here are some examples. ClickFunnels is $1 billion company plus. Soho, the same, and they are bootstrapped. Very impressive, these two companies. Contentful is a smaller scale success, but it's from Berlin, and definitely a very cool company. And none of these companies are particularly into machine learning. They are just doing products. And you can say, well, because I'm a machine learner, I actually don't know how to build products like that. Now, here's the interesting thing. You may be able to learn what it takes to build products that have machine learning features and make them more unique in the market. And then you may be able to jump here because it's easier than going the normal route. Why? Because after Recession, it's actually hard to go from a background in STEM to a job. This is not as hard as it seems. It looks like really early stage people, which are normally not the people that we work with DSR. The guys we get have about 5 years of experience often, or a PhD. This transition from very beginner in machine learning to a job is becoming hard. It's not as hard as in other fields, but it's still becoming not as easy. What is pretty easy still is if you are more senior. You have a year or two of experience, everybody's looking for you, you can jump into a different job relatively easily. This is what I've seen in the market. Okay, but let's say that it's hard now to go from STEM PhD, let's say, or STEM background, or some kind of data analytics role to a machine learning job, right? On your own, this is hard. It's hard to do consulting. Why? Because there are fewer projects out there. Companies are cutting costs, and unless you are a consultant that helps them cutting costs, they're not going to do experimental stuff, they're not going to try new ideas, so the budgets for things that are innovative, like machine learning, are probably less. This is a problematic situation, but it's true. You can, though, be a consultant that helps them on things that cut cost, and then you have an easy conversation to have, but not selling things, as I've told before in previous videos, that don't affect the bottom line. So if you are going to do this, make sure it's still hard, but make sure that you do something that affects the bottom line or cut costs, right? Okay, so imagine that you can get here the hard way to a bootstrap product. Okay, sounds good. It's still the same, extremely hard to get here to a large product. It may not be what you want. You may be just happy with having a bootstrap product that will pay for a couple of salaries and everybody is okay, and then you serve a market, the market loves you, they have a real problem, you solve the problem. Beautiful business to have. I actually like this type of business a lot. Right now, PC is hard to come by because I mean, it's very unpredictable right now, right? Okay, so here's my whole point for this video. Doing this before was maybe not a great idea because you had these 2 easy steps that you could do and you could already start making money here and here, right? So jumping here and learning the skills that you need to bootstrap a product or to actually build something, to test a market, to find an actual product that your audience wants, it was hard, and there were easier things to just make a living that didn't require this level of skill. This could be 100 times harder, let's say. For some people, products are easy, they are naturals, but for most people, going from here to here is hard. But here is the interesting thing now, right? Turns out that after the recession, these 2 things are hard. So what if going from here to here is actually not as hard as going from here to here to here? This is interesting. So it could be that if you do this, it's going to take you forever to get here, it's going to take you forever to get here, it's going to take you forever to get here, and this path is completely open because there are new needs in a recession that if you satisfy those needs with a product, and a product that has machine learning features, you may be able to make people happy, and this green line is actually easier than this line or this blue line. So this is very interesting. That step's really hard still, I don't recommend you to do it, but consider doing this, jumping straight into products, because not that many people are doing it. So people who are doing this come from this kind of tradition of, say, freelancers building websites and apps for others, and then one day they realize that they can build a product on their own, and they do it and they have the skills. Okay, those guys have skills that you don't have. They can build working apps, but they have also a limited view of what can be built. They tend to think in terms of calendars, to-dos, collaboration tools, things that basically display information in a database on some kind of view where you can drag and drop boxes like Trello. These are the type of tools that they devise because they don't know what is possible with machine learning. You do. You know that you can build things that do a style transfer, and you can make a person dance like they're doing this and they show like they're dancing ballet. Can you not make a product with that? Of course you can. I mean, there are details. This is not easy to put in production, right? But you may be able to come up with a bootstrap product that is sellable, that solves a real need. This is the difficult part, finding the need. I keep telling that in every video. But it's still superior to a simple product that is imagined by somebody who has no idea of what is possible with machine learning. I think this is a very good place to be, and this is why I've made this video. Still, if you want to know more about how to create products that solve people's needs, I recommend you to go to Data Science Retreat, because this is kind of what we do all the time. It's hard, it's getting harder by the day because more and more low-hanging fruit is being picked. But if you want to do a product, I think there are no better options right now in the market than Data Science Retreat. So talk to you soon.